Welcome back. A relationship can look peaceful on the outside while one person is quietly keeping score inside. Not because they stopped caring, but because they expected the other person to understand a need that was never clearly spoken. First, we will look at the invisible agreement that gets created when someone thinks, if they cared, they would notice without me asking. Second, we will see how expecting someone to just know can turn into a test they never realized they were taking. Third, we will break down how silence becomes mental scorekeeping, and why one small moment suddenly feels much bigger than it is. Fourth, we will cover the exact sentence that can turn a tense kitchen, a missed call, or a quiet evening into a fair request instead of a silent penalty. And finally, we will connect the whole pattern into one rule you can remember before a conversation turns into a fight. Most resentment begins with a sentence that stays hidden. If you loved me, you would know. But what feels obvious inside your head can be completely invisible to the other person. Picture someone coming home exhausted, hoping their partner will notice the dishes, step in, and make the evening easier. The partner does not notice. Now the issue is not just dishes. It becomes, why do I have to ask to be cared for? When you do not say what you need, the other person is not responding to your need. They are responding to whatever they can guess. And when they guess wrong, the mistake can feel like evidence that they do not care. That is where resentment grows quickly. Care stops being measured by effort and starts being measured by accuracy. Not, did they try to show up? But, did they guess exactly what I needed? If this made you think of a conversation you have been avoiding, save this video. Not to win the argument later, but to enter it with clearer words and less blame. Once resentment enters, the mind starts collecting receipts. They did not notice this, they did not help with that, they forgot again. Suddenly, tonight is not only tonight, it is carrying the weight of every quiet disappointment before it. That is why a small issue can explode. The argument may be about dishes, timing, or one missed call. But underneath, the real message is, I stood in this kitchen feeling alone again, and you did not even know you were part of the test. The reset is simple, but it takes courage. Name the need before it becomes a verdict. Instead of saying, you never care, try saying, when I come home exhausted, I need 10 minutes of help before we talk about anything else. A clear request gives the other person a chance to succeed. A hidden expectation only gives them a chance to fail quietly, and then wonder why the room suddenly feels colder. Here's the core idea. Resentment is often delayed communication. It is the emotional bill that arrives after too many needs were hidden, softened, hinted at, or swallowed. Being clear about what you need is not being needy. It is giving the relationship clean information. And clean information is what stops love from turning into a guessing game. So remember the pattern. An unspoken expectation becomes a silent test. The silent test becomes scorekeeping, and scorekeeping becomes resentment. The way out is not perfect communication. It is earlier communication. Subscribe for more relationship psychology that helps you name the pattern before it turns one small moment into a bigger problem. And before you go, ask yourself this. What expectation have I been hoping someone would guess, instead of saying clearly,